The year 2022 has officially ended for everyone around the world. And with that ending, we have had amazing animes come out the year of 2022. We had old shows make returns and make their mark back into the industry. We had new shows bringing out the essence of anime. Today's video, we'll be talking about the top 10 animes of the year. And before we start, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to get more content from me. Without further ado, let's get this video started. And let's start this list off right with number 10, Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District arc. Demon Slayer, without a doubt, kicked off the year with some excellent fight scenes in the world of anime. The shonen genre has become alive because of Demon Slayer. Having Demon Slayer be passionate enough to bring back so much energy coming off the movie of Mugen Train, one of the best movies we have ever received for anime in general. Not only is that a thing, we've also got introduced to Tengen Uzui, who is without a doubt one of the best Hashiras in the world. We are also introduced to the villains of the arc, which is the Upper Moon 6 of Gitaro and Daki. The brother and sister combination was excellent. Not only has Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc proven that this anime has more to it than just being the basic shonen, it also proves that characters have development in this series. And Ufotable, without a doubt, put their heart and soul into this season, making it as crisp as possibly can. The animation was top tier presence of what the movie gave them in a budget. And for the people out there that say Demon Slayer is mid, you gotta get the hell on, because you did not watch the Entertainment District arc. This arc brought Demon Slayer to higher echelons, and that is why this number 10 slot belongs to Demon Slayer. Alright, and the next anime coming in at number 9 is Blue Lock. Now, with Blue Lock, it is an amazing series that everyone should check out, even if you don't watch sports. But I also got an expert in this field, ladies and gentlemen. I got Dark Hero Josh here to tell you why you should be watching Blue Lock. Without further ado, Josh, take it away.
Blue Lock. Now, if you haven't even heard of Blue Lock, I'd be very worried for you, as Blue Lock is, if not one of the biggest animes to come out, not just in this season, but in this year in a whole. And if you have heard of it and just decided not to watch it for whatever reason, maybe, then what the actual hell are you doing? Go start that now. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock for all this time, or I guess during the fall anime season, then you'd know that Blue Lock is the ongoing sports manga that's all the rage. To give a pretty quick synopsis of what Blue Lock is about, Blue Lock takes place after the 2018 World Cup, after Japan gets pretty much utterly destroyed. And having their history of never winning a World Cup, a woman by the name of Henri, as well as a crazy genius of a man by the name of Jinpachi Ego, would later introduce the Blue Lock project to the Japanese Football Association, where the idea would be to gather the top 300 strikers in Japan in hopes of making a true striker out of that 300. But as you're in Blue Lock, the stakes are pretty high. And when I mean pretty high, I mean extremely high. As the stakes are, where if you'd win, you advance, but if you lose, you'd not only be kicked out of Blue Lock, but you'd never be able to go pro again. What makes Blue Lock so good is how it introduces ego to us. Now, normally if we hear that if someone has a big ego, we'd assume that's a bad thing, being that that person's all cocky, blah blah blah. But here it shows us that your ego is actually pretty useful, and it could be used for a big drive in terms of motivation, showing us that the idea of ego isn't bad at all. But for the rest, the characters are really great. And as you get deeper into the story and as more characters slowly but surely get introduced, you'd see that all of them have their own sort of personality and character that really make them unique from one another. And as they all have a pretty different idea of their kind of soccer they like to play, you'd know whenever they're on the field, an interesting battle would happen.
Alright, and coming in at number 8 is the show that has taken over the fall season when it comes to brand new shows, and that is Chainsaw Man. Now, I have made a video on this channel about the best girls in Chainsaw Man. You guys really enjoyed that, but Chainsaw Man overall as a series is phenomenal. With Chainsaw Man, it follows the story of Denji. Now, Denji had a terrible and horrible childhood when it comes to the start of anime, because he had no parents, no father figure, no mother figure there to help him go through these hard times. The only person he had was a demon dog named Pochi. And when shit hits the fan, Pochi comes inside of Denji and becomes one known as the Chainsaw Man. But not only the characters, the story of Chainsaw Man is just beginning. They finished the first part of Chainsaw Man. The second part is coming out next year. So when it comes out, be ready for more stuff. But the characters, Makima is a menace to society. She is a demon. She is honestly a great character. Not only that, I have a fan favorite in Power. And Power is honestly a phenomenal character. She is known as the Blood Devil and will smash your brains to pieces if you are not ready for this action. Aki, he is a phenomenal character when it comes to being a character beside Denji. You have to have a character in Aki to maintain and control him in his mind and strategies itself. Aki is a great character. Not only that, you have also other great characters in Kobani, Himino, and all the other characters in Chainsaw Man. And personally, Chainsaw Man has become one of my favorites thanks to the anime. I have read it beforehand, but the anime put this to a better echelon as characters got voices and the story became a lot more clear watching the anime over the manga. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, Chainsaw Man is at number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have a show I've been waiting for 5 years to finally return, and it did, and it was phenomenal in Classroom of the Elite. Not only did we get Anakoji back, we got the whole cast back, and this brings a life to what happened in season 1 come together in season 2. Now, season 2 did start on the slower end for the first few episodes, but it picked up gradually as the story progressed, with new characters being introduced. And a character that got introduced that was a mainstay was Ki. Not only was Ki a phenomenal character, she was also voiced by the voice actor who does Nino Nakano from the Quintessential Quintuplets, which personally, that gives a plus for a better story with a character with a phenomenal voice actor. But then we also saw characters get their come-ups come to them. That boy Ryu ain't know what was happening to him. That girl Kushida, she gotta go. Get her trash ass the But not only did Classroom of the Elite Season 2 elevate this story even more, we are getting a third season coming on after this. So if you have not watched the first or the second season, Classroom of the Elite is an amazing psychological experience that you guys will enjoy. And you don't even have to watch it. You can honestly read it as a light novel. But to me, Classroom of the Elite Season 2 honestly had to be put on this list, and that's why it is at the number 7 slot. Alright, coming in at number 6 is My Hero Academia, returning to the promise of being a top tier anime. And not only that, I have my boy Jet the Prophet here to tell you guys why it's up here on this list. Without further ado, Jet, take it away, my guy.
My Hero Academia Season 6 had the monumentous task of adapting not only the best arc in New Gen Shonen, but one of the best arcs in all of Shonen, the Paranormal Liberation War arc. After the monstrosity that was Season 5, there was doubt that this war arc would be adapted well in Season 6 of MHA. Well, I'm sitting here glad to tell you that not only did they adapt this war arc well, but they nearly knocked it out of the park if they tried a little bit harder. Because you see, this season had many moments of top of the line direction, top of the line animation, top of the line sound design with voice acting and music. But with those many great times, there's also those many other times where the season doesn't quite live up to the hype, where it falls flat a little bit. But even with those moments where the season isn't performing at peak potential, it's still one of the best animes to ever touch a TV screen. The Paranormal Liberation War arc is a masterclass in writing one of the best arcs in all of Shonen. And you throw on top of that top tier direction, music, voice acting, and really good animation, and baby, you're cooking! But for how good the arc is, for how good the season is, there's still that thought that sits in the back of your head. What if they tried harder? Just imagine the absolute peak fiction we would have had if Studio Bones was performing at the top of its game with this season. But you know, what we got is still the cream of the crop.
All right, now we have reached the top 5 of this list, and with this list, I have finally reached a romance anime to put on this list, and that is More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers. Now, at first, this show I did not expect to be as good as it is. Not only did it give me some good vibes, as it reminds me of shows like the quintessential quintuplets Nisekoi, it also has one of the most unique stories I have seen in a while for this genre. It starts off with my boy Jiro being in love with his childhood friend Shiori. Now, with the marriage practical, the school practices with randomly selected boy and girl pairings, and they must live together as a married couple. Not only is that a fact, they also get graded on their certain behaviors with each other. We are introduced to then the best girl of the fall 2022 season, and that is Akira Watanabe, which, by the way, she is a Gyaru. And as we see in the story, the development between her and Jiro become more and more prevalent, and you just root for Jiro the whole way through to proceed to get Akira Watanabe. Not only is that a great factor for this show, Shiori is honestly a character you also want to root for to get the man she always wants. At the end of the day, this show has gravitated to me so much that it has reached to the top 5 of this list. And the dynamic between Watanabe and Jiro is honestly the greatest I've seen in a while between two characters. I hope and pray this show receives a second season announcement very soon, because this was a great ride of event. More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers will be my number 5 anime of the season, hands down. Alright, coming in at number 4, we have Spy X Family. And with Spy X Family, it is one of my favorite mangas of all time. Now, why is it one of my favorite mangas of all time? Well, it follows the family of the Forgers. And with the Forgers, we have 3 dynamic characters that you just cannot hate. The main boy, and honestly the greatest male the scene of the new gens, is Lloyd Forger. Lloyd Forger is dead on a mission to bring a family into the presence of East Germany. We are then introduced to one of the greatest characters of all time in Anya Forger. And with Anya Forger, she's honestly the pinnacle of this show. She is a top tier character. If you do not like Anya, I honestly think you have terrible taste. And that's just not me having an opinion. No, this is straight fact. You also get introduced to baby girl herself, your Forger. Good God, a goddess. Ms. Assassin herself. She will kill you, and I love that. The Forgers are honestly the greatest dynamic trio in anime and manga of all time. Their history and the stories with these characters bring elegance to the story. Not only that, you have a pinnacle cast of side characters that is amazing. And all the people around the world will tell you Spy X Family is for the whole family. You can have your grandma watch it. You can have your little brother watch it. You can have your parents watch it. That's how dynamic Spy X Family is to the anime community. Spy X Family will take care of the new generation of anime watchers and make other people enjoy anime. Spy X Family, if not, is one of the best animes this year, and without a doubt is in my number 4 slot. We have finally reached the top 3 on this list, and coming in at number 3 is Boji the Rock. Hands down, one of the best slice of lives of the decade already, even though the decade just started. It is that good. If you like K-On!, you need to watch Boji the Rock right now. As for me, myself, Boji the Rock reminds me of K-On!, which is my favorite slice of life of all time. Not only is that a fact, I love K-On! To the point that I want to get the merchandise so badly. But here's a fact, the main character, Kuru, reminds me of Yui so bad because of the fact they have similarities to each other as characters. As the band starts out, Bachira is slightly, a bit shy and timid to talk to other people. But as the series progresses on, you get the development into one of the greatest character developments of the year. And to me, without a doubt, has to be one of the most underrated shows of all time. A lot of people want to see the fight scenes out here. They want to get the groove on. They want to get the javelin, all that fun stuff. But you need a little bit of real life to it. You need a little bit of slice of life to your arsenal. And I bring you Bojji the Rock, which is a top 3 anime of the year, no doubt about it. And the other characters in this band is honestly amazing. Yamada, oh my god, such a great character. Ichichi is also a great character. And of course, Kita. Who does not forget about Kita? If she's your worst one, I don't know what's wrong with you. But Kita, amazing. These 4 alone makes you watch the show in general. Not only is that a fact, the other characters is honestly, oh my god, they're so great, so great. And Studio Cloverworks picked up a great project with Bojji the Rock. And when we finally get English releases of the manga to the United States, I am #1 in line to receive a book, because I'm getting it. Bojji the Rock, to me, is a top 3 show, and it is number 3 on this list. We have wind down to the final 2, and at number 2, I have Shibuki Bisco. Now, to me, this might actually be the most underrated show of the year. And to me, Shibuki Bisco for me is a top 15 series of all time for me, hands down. This series was amazing at what it did with characters and the story of this show. We cannot talk about the show without the main boy himself, and that is Bisco. Akabushi Bisco is labeled as the man-eating mushroom all around the land in this world. But Bisco is, without a doubt, not that label, but he is the mushroom protector. And to go around the land to discover this legendary mushroom, Bisco also travels around the world with the other main character, who is also my favorite in this series, and that is Milo, known around the world as Panda with the nickname. He is a doctor, and his sister has been affected with this disease of rust lingering in her body. She is also a goated character in Poe. Truly amazing. All around the land, everyone is affected by these mushrooms that develop rust. And Milo and Bisco are trying to be able to find the secret ingredient to stop rusting all around the world. This series, without a doubt, is amazing at what it does best. And for me, the main characters have carried this show and put it to the #2 slot. A lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for putting it here, but trust me, if you try and watch this series, I guarantee you, you will like it. It might not be #2 for everyone, but to me, this is the underrated gem of the year. Gotta put it at #2. Before we get to the #1 slot, I have honorable mentions that did not make the cut. 4 of these shows I have not watched, and that is Attack on Titan. I just haven't caught up on it. Bleach, I'm sorry, people, I haven't caught up on it. I got to the Arancon arc. That's where I'm at right now. Mob Psycho, just need to watch it. I'm so serious. Made in the Abyss, I know it's good, trust me, but I'm gonna get to it. Kaguya-sama Love is War. I'm so sorry. It was close, but it's honestly one of the greatest romances ever. I gotta give it to you. Your boy Kungmi was hilarious and a great series. Tagage-san Season 3, the return was immaculate, and I can't wait for it to continue. Data Live Season 4, amazing series. Oh my god, can't wait for Season 5. Ranking of Kings was amazing. Very good. So close to get to the top 10. And finally, Urusei Yatsura. An amazing series. One of the best to come back. I'm glad it came back. The show is hilarious. Please watch it. And my #1 slot belongs to Licorice Recoil. What can I say? I mean, it's in my profile picture on TikTok. You know, I love this series to death, and it has arrived in my top 5 animes of all time. Licorice Recoil revolves around the story between 2 great characters in Takina and Chisato. The Licorice program has a special order to protect Japan from ever being attacked by terrorist attacks, and with these scenarios be called direct attack, otherwise known as DA. And thanks to Takina's actions beforehand, she is dropped out of the DA program and transferred out to the Lyco Rico, a cafe in disguise. With that, Takina ends up being new partners with one of the greatest of all time in Chisato. Now, these two personalities are different than one another, so they have a little bit of trouble at the beginning of this series. But after a couple episodes, these two have bonded with each other much better than what they expected to. And with that, it gives Takina one of the greatest developments in anime history. Her 180 in this series is tremendous. Not only is that a fact, this series, they will put a bullet to your skull. No questions asked, no questions needed. You will die in an instant. Another fact is Chisato doesn't use lethal bullets. She uses rubber bullets. Now you may ask, why do they do that, Cams? Well, I can't tell you because it is a spoiler of why she uses those rubber bullets. But I will say the other characters in this series make this series even more. With Kurumi, Mizuki, Mika, Maija, they have all become great characters in the show. Licorice Recoil to me is a top 5 anime of all time, and it definitely has put up in that slot for me. Chisato is also a top 5 character for me of all time. She is tremendous at what she does best. And if you have not watched this series, what are you doing? You need to watch it now. Licorice Recoil to me is the best anime of 2022. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about this list? I truly do want your opinions. I also want to know, what is your top 10 animes of 2022?